live from your ears or eyes if you're watching on YouTube. It's the Geek Show.
This week has been weird, and good, and weird, and good at the same time. Something amazing happened to me this week. My favorite number used to be 53, because that's the number on Herbie the Love Bug. He's number 53. My new favorite number is 34. Hit the theme.
I see what you did there.
Sean in the chat room watched Morbius and Madam Web in a row.
Oh.
A fantastic double feature, sir.
Why would you do that to yourself, Sean?
Self-flagellation. Come on now.
Might I recommend Highlander 2 as a breath mint?
Highlander 2 is a breath mint for him. He's Lee George Cade, the great Gazoo.
Hello, mortals.
She thinks it's a wonderful wonderful buffet of badness. She's Rebecca Frost.
What? A buffet?
A buffet of bad movies. There you go.
Oh,
We'll take some of
baby.
this
I
and
do
some
love
of
that.
There and there and there.
It's okay to like bad movies. It's okay to have fun.
He returned from the wilds. He's Quad T, Too Tall Tony.
Yeah. I went and saw the Grand Canyon. It's
And?
big.
You also went to Goblin Valley.
Went to Goblin. That's the highlight. Goblin Valley and the Arches as well. Arches
I have
Park.
one question. Did you find my stash?
No, but apparently I totally missed one of the giant formations that looks like a wiener. And
They all
so
look
Isn't
like
that
wieners
all of
from a
them?
certain
I'll have to
point
go
of view.
back and find the one specific one.
Look for my stash. It's under the round rock. Look for it.
The round rock.
The round rock. It's one.
No, just look for the right-sized rock for 21-year-old me to be sitting on during a flash flood saying, why can't I get off the rock? And that's probably where my stash is.
And Robert Neal is here. Hello, Robert. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. All right. Let's get underway then, shall we?
Yes.
All right. Let's begin with a trailer that we got this week. It's one of the few trailers we got this week. Umbrella Academy: The Final Season.
I actually watched this trailer.
Oh,
And
they're doing another season of Bumper Shoot School?
it made me excited for this. Last season of Umbrella Academy. I'm here to yum Lee's
Someone's
yuck.
yuck.
I'm here to yum his yuck.
I'm glad it's there for you,
There's a
Tony.
word choice.
Oh my God, we forgot our host, Carrie Jackson.
Oh,
Mr.
hi.
Perry Jackson.
Holy Toledo.
Monday through Friday, 6 to 10, x96.com. Tuesday features Chinese food. All right.
We just learned that Carrie would forget himself if we didn't bring him up.
That's true. Here's the synopsis. Maybe we'll watch the trailer in the after party, but the Hargreaves siblings have scattered after the climactic showdown at the Hotel Oblivion led to complete reset of their timeline. Stripped of their powers, each is left to fend for themselves and find a new normal with wildly varying degrees of success. And,
Well,
you
if you
know
watch
how
the
this-
trailer, you know they got their powers back.
well, it's
Oh
not
no,
what this
spoiler
says.
alert. Good golly.
You mean they'll get their power? I thought the whole thing would end with it.
Here it is.
I
Yet
just
the
wish Space Boy looked like Space Boy.
Yet the trappings of their uncanny new world proved too hard to ignore for very long. Their father, Reginald, alive and well, has stepped out of the shadows and into the public eye, overseeing a powerful and nefarious business empire. A mysterious association known as the Keepers holds clandestine meetings, believing the reality that they're living in is a lie and a great reckoning is coming. Hey, that sounds familiar. Yeah, so
Is there going to
you
be a
go.
Skybeam?
We can only hope.
Wait a second. There's guys called Keepers that are living over a world of lies? Mm-hmm. Oh.
Exactly.
Huh.
August 8th for the Umbrella Academy final season.
Ah.
People really like this show. It's quite popular.
It's so much more popular than the comic book.
It is indeed.
For good reason, Lee. It's better.
Now,
boy.
now the actor there in the middle with the blue gloves, and I can never remember his name, but he's my favorite part of the show.
He's great. Yeah.
And I always thought, he could play Doctor Doom easily. But I don't like the mustache. Anyway, sorry. It's the only
He's always had the mustache.
Yeah, but it's
And Gary's
gotten-
never liked it.
Yeah. He's better clean shaven. Instead of the whole Jesus look that he goes for. Anyway.
Poor Klaus. No one ever gives his mustache a break.
Yeah. And is Professor Monkey coming back? I hope he comes back. Anyway. Let's see. Now, this was a surprise to most who woke up this morning. Just out of nowhere, no fanfare, no warning, just like you do, like a kaiju do.
Up from the depths, 40 stories tall. Here he is, Godzilla.
Breathing fire
Exactly.
and scanning the sky.
Godzilla -1 just stomps its way onto Netflix, and there it is.
Yes.
Nice. I can watch it now.
And here's the things that apparently it's not on one of the promoted banners either. You have to look for it.
Well, I guess I'm going to cancel my movie plans tonight.
Yeah.
I wish
Godzilla
people. I
hiding in
wish.
plain sight.
I don't know why it's not coming across that Americans want to see this movie.
I don't get it.
We traditionally haven't.
Well, I'm curious if this is a plan just to see how many people actually go to look for it and to watch what the numbers do once it's there. And the people like, oh, and then, they'll tell two friends, and they'll tell two friends, and so on and so on.
Okay. Now Eric must have a different algorithm or something because he says that he's seeing ads for it everywhere. So maybe it's the algorithm. I don't know.
His algorithm is just full of kaiju and
It's
giant
nothing
robots.
but kaiju.
Yeah.
Giant robots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Godzilla,
That's for sure.
Voltron, Gundam.
Oh, I'm glad you're here, because I got a story coming up I want you to weigh in on. But let's do some housekeeping here, shall we? The Lee George Cade family spending millions of dollars on medical bills.
Just tens of thousands, not millions.
Okay, it's still a lot for a family.
Good.
And so far, so good. I think maybe your stays in the hospital are done at this point, right?
Well, I don't want another. I'm going to show it like
Ooh,
that.
look at that.
Wow.
That is
Hematoma-looking
from
thing.
That is from a overconfident IV tech who said, "Oh, I can get an IV in there," and
It
so
looked
that's
like a Pac-Man. It looks like Pac-Man.
yeah.
Free
So,
tattoo.
yeah.
I had that happen to me when I was in the hospital. That's,
Yep. And then 2 hours later, my arm's twice its size, and they're like, "Oh, that's not good." I was like, "Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to tell you, overconfident dipshit." Anyway.
Yeah, this one, she was just confident that she was going to be able to get it, and there was blood everywhere. It
Yeah,
just-
Are you digging for oil? What do you find in there? So yeah.
Exactly. So, but if you can help out, there it is. There's the Venmo. All the money goes directly to the Cade family, and they subsequently send it to some large medical corporation somewhere.
Yeah, but they're naming a parking spot after me soon.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So there you go, on the Venmo. It's on all of our social medias. Also, our store, geekshow.store, is available. Get your stuff with our logo on it, please.
Oh my gosh, I've broken.
You can
Here
do
we
it.
go. And I got it. Don't worry.
You got it there. And don't forget our Patreon as well, geekshowgotthiscovered.com. It's where we do the after party. It's where we have time closet videos. We're going to have some gaming stuff coming soon. You get the Space Show early. You get the after party, which is what we do. As soon as we get done with this, we continue the show after, and that's for our Patreons. So,
Just with less direction.
yes.
And today we're actually going to be talking about how highly anticipated movies that should be box office successes crash and burn for no apparent reason, i.e. Furiosa.
I have reasons. I have reasons for you, Lee.
I'm sure there's reasons. I'm sure there's
gonna be
reasons. I mean, the same reasons. I'm going to be going back to a little movie called Pacific Rim that for some reason, ticked a lot of boxes. And people said, no, I'm going to watch this Adam Sandler movie instead.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Whatever, Tony.
There's reasons for these things.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. There's
People
a lot-
don't want
Hey.
me to have good things.
save it.
I'll
Save
say
it.
this: there's a lot of theory about why these things. All right. So anyway, coming up.
This business of show.
All right. Let's talk about the goddamn popcorn bucket, shall we?
You got the picture.
I don't like it.
I was rolling when I saw this.
I'd say, kids, if it looks like that, see a doctor.
Yeah.
God.
This
I had no desire to get this bucket until I saw this. And I was just like, I can make horrible pictures with this.
exactly.
Oh.
They
Good.
want us to fuck the bucket.
Yes. This is the war of the popcorn buckets. Officially, we're in that season now, and
That's so great.
this is all that geeks were talking about this week. I mean, we had so much happening, but this was what they were focused on. Kind of gives you an idea of what we're all about, really.
I just realized something. You need this one and the Dune 2 bucket. Turn the Dune 2 bucket upside down. Human centipede. Well, reverse
Oh,
human centipede.
What are you
goodness.
talking about?
Look, this is a man who has children. Oh,
You put the dune bucket on the back, facing backwards, and then you have a complete.
And then you
Mouth
London
and
Bridge the
anus.
buckets with a friend.
you guys have
getting
put
weird.
way too much thought into this.
So it's like, I just can't.
Came to me.
I just can't imagine activating that docking maneuver.
As Kevin Feige promised, the Marvel movie popcorn bucket rivals the Dune 2 popcorn bucket. Ryan Reynolds unveiled a very suggestive ad. We'll probably watch it in the after party, teasing the Marvel popcorn bucket. On the side of it, it says "Designed by Deadpool."
Which I love.
Yeah,
Do you think Kevin Feige is like wandering around his office like, oh my god?
It's so much better than the Thanos glove because it was like this, but it could only fit this much popcorn.
yeah.
So,
In the
what else could
video,
it fit, Lee?
in the video,
Scream!
a gloved hand caresses the helmet. Popcorn falls on its face, and then butter is dribbled down its side. I don't think we have to necessarily explain why, do we? I hope.
No,
I want to know where his teeth are.
no, you don't.
Ah.
We don't know which cinema chains are going to carry the bucket or how much it is, but they're guessing anywhere between $25 and $50.
Can you put a price on this?
I can't.
25 or 50.
I
Yeah.
don't think you can. But this is just following through with what Feige has been promising all along, and that is that the movie's going to be rated R, and don't worry about it. It's going to be what you want. It's going to be the Deadpool that you want. And here is the new official plot synopsis from the film, direct from Disney. This is from Disney. This is the film synopsis. Marvel Studios presents their most significant mistake to date, Deadpool and Wolverine. A listless Wade Wilson toils away in civilian life, his days as the morally flexible mercenary Deadpool behind him. When his homeworld faces an existential threat, Wade must reluctantly suit up again with an even more reluctantest? He must convince a reluctant Wolverine to... Fuck, synopsises are so fucking stupid. That's the official... That's the official synopsis from Disney.
Yay.
I wish we could get more of that. Just in everyday life.
I'm glad they got one last thing out of Angela Lansbury before she passed.
Thank you. July 26 is when you're going to be able to...
Oh my gosh, the next 2 months are about to be really insufferable when it comes to marketing for this movie.
I don't think they need to market it anymore. I think
but
this
they
one is
will.
this is a
Well, that's the
destination.
thing.
This is
Sure, I think, yeah, we think that. They're not going to do that, though.
I
I think
know.
they're going to...
Ryan
They're
Reynolds
going to go nuts.
loves marketing, and he has a company that he created specifically for marketing his stuff, and they love what they do.
and they do a great job.
And I love
All
that
right.
he's such a shy, soft-spoken guy in the real world. It's,
I know, right?
it's such a great contrast to who he is.
So this was the story that broke last night. Captain America: Brave New World reshoots underway with new pages and new mystery character. Giancarlo Esposito joins the cast for part of a 22-day shoot as a villainous character. That's all we know.
Ooh.
Anybody who tells you they know is full of it. Sam Wilson back in action this week in Atlanta with the new actor cast. Giancarlo Esposito, who for a few weeks has hinted at his involvement in a Marvel Studios project, is on the call sheet in an undisclosed role. 22 days of shoots. Now, of course, the haters are going crazy with this. Now, despite reports of multiple reshoots on the movie, this is the only official one that has been scheduled. It does not appear to be as extensive as, say, the reshoots for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which were 6 weeks, nor the expensive...
Wanda's story made too much sense before the reshoots, so they had to...
nor the expensive or extensive reshoots endured by the Marvels. But this is what they are willing to say. The movie is a political action thriller that, tonally at least, is akin to The Winter Soldier. At this year's CinemaCon, Feige said no aliens, no alien invasions, no time travel.
What?
Yeah, a
Three
grounded
words
action film is what
I'm
he
out.
said.
I
Henry
just
Peter
have...
Gyrich.
Who's that?
I'm back in.
That's my guess. Gyrick is a government official who is mostly known in the X-Men for being very anti-mutant. He was seen in X-Men 97, but he started, if I'm not mistaken, in the Avengers. I think he first appeared in the Avengers. I'll have to track that, but I know that back when late 80s, early 90s, the government decided the Avengers could not have a unlimited roster, had to pare down to 7 people. He was one of the people who was like, y'all got to cut it down. So that is my guess, and he could pull off Gyrick well. It would also be an interesting casting against the traditional comic character.
Also,
And a
this
good transition to X-Men.
and into Thunderbolts as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he's been saying, and take this with a grain of salt, I feel like I've been reading in interviews, he's been saying that this villainous character that he is going to play could get its own series.
Did he
Is
say
this-
that? Oh.
He did. I read the same
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
So, like, is that a character who you feel like could carry a series?
I think he could be in a series
Yeah,
very
he could
easily,
carry that.
but no, not the main character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough for Gyrick to. Anyway, that's a good guess, Rob, though. I like that.
And you're correct. November 1977, Avengers 165. 10 points to Rob.
Thank you. Also, other news that leaked this week. Speaking of the questions in the Marvel Universe, Mahershala Ali is in talks to be in the new Jurassic World movie.
They're never going to make
Man
that
just want to
Blake
make a movie. He's supposed to be in a movie. That's all.
I
Let the brother
disagree.
make a movie.
It will happen. The Blade movie will happen.
On USA Network.
It's going to happen.
Oh,
It's going to happen.
Thanks, Lee.
But he is joining.
single tear.
He's joining Scarlett Johansson in the Jurassic World movie. Jonathan Bailey, Rupert Friend, Manuel Garcia Rulfo are also there. Gareth Edwards is in the director's chair.
This is a kind of a sneak peek for what I'm talking about later, but Glenn Powell was also like offered a role in this movie, and he turned it down because he was like, my presence would add nothing to what is already here. So I'm kind of wondering if they're just looking to like grab as many celebrities as possible to put in this movie.
Well, like I said, I'm all for this because the movie I wanted was there are dinosaurs everywhere on the earth now. That's the movie I always wanted, not
Planet
just
of the
this
Apes,
is?
but dinosaurs.
yes.
Valley of the Dinosaurs, just on a larger scale.
Exactly. I just want them everywhere. I want them, terrorizing cities. I want, the whole thing. All right. Egg was excited about this. Is not what I wanted you to weigh in on, Egg, but I know you're excited about this. And if you're a comic book fan, you probably are as well, because Ed Brubaker's series Criminal has been in development as a TV series for quite a while. Well, we finally have our lead. It's going to be on Prime Video. Charlie Hunnam of Sons of Anarchy fame is going to be cast as the lead in Criminal. Now,
What's
I-
Charlie Hunnam
foremost-
from Pacific Rim?
The
What's
world's
that?
foremost Dracula expert, Charlie Hunnam.
he's a Dracula expert?
Yeah.
I love that.
There are historians that freak out when Charlie Hunnam starts talking about Vlad Tepes because he knows everything.
Wow.
Yep.
Criminal is an interlocking universe of crime stories based on Ed Brubaker's graphic novel series, Eisner Award winning, multiple Eisner Award winning. Hunnam will play Leo, the brilliant master thief who sees all the angles and specializes in plans with no guns and no violence. Like a chess player, Leo thinks 3 moves ahead. Other crooks thinks he's a coward because, compared to his father Tommy, who went to jail for murdering the most feared man in the city, Teague Lawless. So, anyway, we're
I do
getting.
love Ed Brubaker.
He's a
Anything
good writer.
Ed Brubaker does.
Yeah, I didn't keep up with this series, but everybody I talked to that read it said it was just terrific.
I like Charlie Hunnam right now. He's able to kind of pick and choose what he does. So you get things like Crimson Peak where he just gets his ass kicked through the whole movie. And it's,
All right, Eric, here's the question. Here's the one I wanted you to weigh in on because you are the biggest Transformers fan I know. Chris Hemsworth is in talks to be the lead in the G.I. Joe Transformers crossover movie at Hasbro.
I thought he was taking a break from acting.
He probably decided,
There's
I
no
should do
acting
it
in
while
this.
I
I
can.
like money.
There's no acting in
There's
this.
no acting. You just show up and get the paycheck. You know.
Yeah.
Sick burn. Got him.
Now he's going to be in this new animated Transformers movie. He's young Optimus Prime.
He's the Transformer.
Yeah. But this is the live action, the one that we got hinted at the end of Rise of the Beasts, ended with Anthony Ramos's Noah Diaz getting a job offer from the G.I. Joe people. So I just have this to say about Hemsworth joining. Cast him as Shipwreck, you cowards.
I was just about to say that. It's the only part for him.
You see, because my question was going to be G.I. Joe, a real American hero played by an Australian.
Wait
Yeah.
a minute.
That's
guys
why
should-
they always get British people to play Superman.
Right. Check out the Hot Ones interview from last week with Chris Hemsworth.
pretty good.
Oh, I still
It's
haven't watched
it's
it.
pretty good because I'd say a full quarter of his dialogue is mumbling in a
Yeah.
strong Aussie accent, and you can't understand
Well, and he's-
anything he says.
And he got overconfident, too. That was the other
Dude.
thing.
It was a good one.
No,
So I only have-
Extraction. Got it.
I only have one problem with G.I. Joe in general, is that Baroness is too hot of a librarian for me to watch in a movie.
Is there such a thing as too hot
As
of a
too hot of a librarian. Yeah,
That's a
she's
good
right
question.
there.
That's a
She's
good
right
question.
there. She says shush, and you say yes, mistress. You don't have a choice.
Now Eric says that he should play Duke and voice Optimus Prime.
Yeah. No, he needs to wear the cardboard box Optimus Prime suit.
Yes.
Yeah. Beep boop, beep boop, boop. Roll out.
Actually, I
full of
want him.
good ideas
I
here.
want him to be Destro.
They-
Actually, in the cover up that pretty face of his. Or Cobra Commander. Maybe he could be Cobra Commander. Anyway, let's see. We finally forward motion on the Masters of Universe live action movie.
Hooray!
Here's the thing. I'm glad they're doing this. Terrific. I think he might be too damn pretty.
Well,
To-
he's
He
play
is
perfect as a
extremely
prince.
pretty.
perfect as a Prince Adam.
True.
And that's the thing. Are they going to do the actual transformation? Because they didn't do that, if I recall, in the old Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph
He-Man,
Lundgren, he was
right?
He-Man all the time.
The whole
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
It's the best time to kill him, though, is when he's transforming, because you've got 90 seconds to
Yeah,
take a
he's
shot.
This is a long thing right there. You
Yeah.
know.
Let's see. Travis Knight is directing, but this is Nicholas Galitzine. Galitzine, thank you. He was recently in The Idea of You, which was a rom-com.
It was not a rom-com.
It
Well,
says that here, but...
I mean, kind of. If you think the idea of a 40-year-old woman dating a Harry Styles type.
Oh, that's the movie?
Yeah.
It's
The Sleeper Hot movie, the Anne Hathaway movie.
Anne Hathaway. Yeah, she's all about... Because he's in a boy band or something like
yes.
that.
Yeah.
And they fall in love.
And
It's a
she'd be a-
Sleeper Hot movie. But he's
She'd be a
also...
good Baroness.
He's also... from Bottoms from last year. If you've seen Bottoms, and if you haven't seen Bottoms,
That's the...
he's the football man.
Now, is
football boy.
is that the gay comedy?
Yes, yeah, where the
Yes.
girls start a fight club so they can kiss other girls.
Yes.
He's the stupid football boy?
He's the stupid football boy.
Oh my God, he's so good in that movie. Okay, never mind, because he's constantly like, yeah, he's
this
the
guy's
best.
fantastic.
He
He's in a
is-
few other movies,
Okay,
but I'm
yeah.
telling you, Bottoms. If you haven't seen Bottoms, please bump it up your watch list.
All
It's
right.
That movie is full of people who you are going to see in every movie in 10 years.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now I think we're going to spend a good more than half of the movie with him as just Adam, because this is very much going to be like a Star-Lord kind of take on this. Because
Yeah, isn't he supposed to be shipwrecked on Earth basically for
basically,
like 30
yeah.
years?
and
Okay,
and
so-
30 years later, he gets whisked away back to his home planet of Eternia.
So you know what this storyline is, right? This is Hook.
Amethyst, Princess of Gem World.
This is Hook. Peter Pan comes back to Earth, grows up, has
Oh,
to
I
live
thought
a
this was
normal
the first
life.
Thor movie.
Or Thor. You know, I mean, the story's not original, but hopefully it'll be done well.
Yeah. So there you go.
No, it's definitely Amethyst.
Thank you, Lee.
Oh yeah, there it is. The
I don't know what
Idea
that
of You,
is, so.
Anne Hathaway. Oh, he was also young adult adaptation Red, White, and Royal Blue.
Which is apparently very, very good as well. I
Oh,
haven't
he
watched
was in the Amazon title Cinderella, the musical with Camila Cabello.
it. Don't
Okay.
yeah, you don't have to watch that one though. It's not very good.
Yeah, but he's real pretty. So I don't. Maybe you're right, Tony. In the transition, I don't know if they'd do a different actor, would they?
It depends on how much is left in
No.
the movie,
Bill
probably.
Bixby with Ferrigno, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Hulk.
see?
Just
Robert gets
just
it.
just CGI Holcomb.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Put a muscle
Yep.
suit on him.
Maybe
Yeah.
he'll be a CGI character.
No,
Motion
what they
capture.
need to do is find the rubber muscle suits they used in the Masters of the Universe World Tour in 1986. Because these guys would be running around in these muscle suits, but they had vents in the neck so they wouldn't overheat. And anytime they leaned over to like shake a kid's hand or high five him, a bunch of sweat would just pour out. It was the most amazing thing in the world.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. My brother still thought it was the coolest thing in the world, but he was 3. He was an idiot. He didn't know.
Those 3-year-old idiots.
His gills are leaking. His gills are leaking.
Shipwreck Sean says my family swoons over him. He was
They're
a good
right to.
romantic lead in Red, White, and Royal Blue. So, all right. Okay, there you go. Now, Tony or somebody familiar with this game? This game, Just Cause.
Just Cause, yeah.
Is this not Uncharted?
It's not
No.
Uncharted.
This is what
apparently.
Uncharted wanted to be gameplay-wise.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, because I'm unfamiliar with the movie, but the guy who directed Blue Beetle, Angel Manuel Soto, is going to be directing the Just Cause movie. Video game from Square Enix and Avalanche Studios.
So this is going to be an easy adaptation. It's basically just an action comedy with lots of bombastic action sequences. You know?
Didn't we already see Shoot 'em Up?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
so the whole point of these Just Cause games is basically you're usually liberating some sort of oppressed country or island or something, and you run around this big open world and just
Far
cause
Cry?
havoc for the bad guys.
Oh, yeah. It says Rico Rodriguez, an operative who is a regime change specialist,
See, there you go.
armed with a grappling hook and a wingsuit.
Yep, it's got a lot of fun gameplay, and the story's just kind of your classic action comedy kind of a thing.
Well, and here's the good action, though. You got the Kelly McCormick and David Leitch, the producing duo behind The Fall Guy and Nobody, which
you
were
go.
both good action movies.
Okay. Okay.
So there you go. That's
Could be good.
That's on your way. Maybe I'll take a look at the game. Nah, everyone knows I won't.
You still haven't even bought a new Xbox, Carrie.
I
Jeez.
know.
We've sent you deal after deal. Look, half off. Look,
I've had one on layaway for him for 4 years. He'll be ready for it soon.
Eventually. In time for the next update,
Oh, I like Brett's comment.
What's that?
Grappling gun and wingsuit. So, daytime Batman.
Ah!
I mean, this scene is literally in Shoot 'em Up, except for there's like 17 assassins trying to kill him while he's free flying and blowing up airplanes.
I love
His-
daytime Batman.
His parachute
Batman.
is one of those magical ones that just refolds itself back into its backpack every
Oh,
time.
I had one of those when I was
automatically.
5.
He lands and it just goes, "Vroom," and then he runs away.
Oh, like in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. Now, I saw a new Exorcist movie and I thought next, but then I saw a name
Exorcist.
that will make everyone very happy, and that is Mike Flanagan.
Bold move.
Yes. Change of direction 3 years after they announced the mega deal to make a trilogy of Exorcist films. I mean, The Exorcist Believer. Did you see that one, Rebecca?
No, but this if you're not a horror fan, this move is kind of like when they brought Rian Johnson into Star Wars, because the last Exorcist movie that came out literally like last year, I think.
Yeah,
real bad, not good,
Yeah.
not getting good reviews at all. So bringing this guy in, Mike Flanagan, is kind of like bringing Rian Johnson in because he's just a superstar horror creator.
He's going to write, direct, and produce it for Blumhouse. Says a radical new take on the franchise. And he wants to do this because he said, The Exorcist is one of the reasons I became a filmmaker. It's an honor to have a chance to try something fresh, bold, and terrifying in this universe. Reuniting with my friends at Blumhouse who have made some of my favorite pieces of work only makes this more exciting, he says. Now, he's worked with them before. He did Oculus, Hush, and Ouija Origin of Evil with them.
Ouija Origin of Evil. I had not seen the first Ouija movie, heard it was not very good, but I heard that the second one, Ouija Origin of Evil, was very good. So I put it on and I thought it was kind of fine until the horror actually starts. And then you're like, whoa, oh, okay, was not aware of your game. Like, extremely good movie. Cannot recommend it enough.
All I know is that he better bring Carla Gugino along.
He will. The challenge is always...
His wife, Kate, will definitely be there.
The challenge is what, Lee?
The challenge, as always, with this kind of movie is how do you make it scary to people who don't believe in religion?
Yeah.
Because The Exorcist, I mean, from the very beginning, my mom, who was an agnostic her entire life, went to see it with her friend who was a Catholic. The friend leaves screaming and crying and shaking, and my mom's laughing her butt off because it was a silly, silly movie. Mm-hmm. So it's got some scary imagery in it, but if you don't believe in these things, it's not really all that frightening. So how do you balance that?
When I first saw The Exorcist, I was young and still believed, and so it scared me. But then I watched it again later, and I went, "Oh, okay."
Well, I mean, it probably.
I'm realizing that my issue with this is I hear the name Mike Flanagan, and I go straight to Orioles pitcher. So I'm like,
different
big
Mike
career
Flanagan.
move. Big
huge career move. So, not the same
That's,
guy, but it's like
that
Mike
is
Flanagan.
versatility.
It was like Mike Flanagan. It's like trying to figure out where do I know the name from. Oh, that's right. He pitched for the O's forever, so that's why.
No, he did a good job with Fall of the House of Usher, so I'll give it a shot.
Indeed.
That was terrific. Let's see. Now, this is something that we're going to expand on further in the after party. But apparently, because Furiosa didn't do well, Warner Brothers is hesitant to make more Mad Max.
Ooh, I'm gonna get so heated about this.
And
when we talk about it. In
the funny
after
part
party.
is we know this movie's going to kill on home release.
Yeah, exactly.
We
It's
just
gonna
know
do
it is.
great.
Home release isn't as fruitful as it used to be.
Right,
Now that it's all
no.
streaming. You're already
Right.
paying for it.
Right.
You know?
Oh, cool. I can't wait for 4 months from now when they release the streaming minutes for Furiosa.
Well, it's like I just read an article this morning. Everybody blaming the Pixar layoffs on Turning Red and what was the other one that they released on Disney Plus? The Pixar film.
Luca.
Thank you. Those were huge on Disney Plus. Huge numbers. They should have released them in theaters.
Yeah.
They're huge hits. Same with the Encanto. That's the other one.
I'm just
Huge
wondering what
hits.
it takes to get people in theaters now.
Yeah, I don't get
Well,
it.
it doesn't seem like it follows any natural trend anymore.
No.
Movies that you think that's a guaranteed, $60 million weekend, it comes up and it's $30 million weekend. Or ones that you're like, well, that's going to flop. All of a sudden, it's having a huge weekend. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, and this movie is literally one of the movies I want to see more than anything this year, and I still haven't seen it.
You're part of the
But-
problem.
Okay, well then
Great
there's the
Gazoo.
problem, Lee.
No, I mean, I'm literally recovering from major abdominal surgery, so it's kind of hard for me to go to a theater right now. But
Everyone's got excuses.
yeah,
Didn't you go see a movie a couple of months ago?
yes, the surgery was literally 3.5 weeks ago,
Your
Rebecca.
story doesn't line up, Lee.
Yes, it does. I have receipts. I'm gonna rage quit.
I was gonna say you want to shut him up, Lee. Just stand up and show him your scars. That'll shut him right up.
You want to see him?
No.
I don't think so. No.
No,
Oh,
my
no.
big regret is that I did not photograph the meat trench before they took it away.
Yeah, the old meat trench.
Now I've just got a cute little zipper going up my abdomen.
The old meat zipper.
All right. Now, Green Boy says I can't afford to go to the theater anymore.
True.
As mentioned, people don't know how to act in a theater. That I've encountered that as well.
I got a story
This just
about
means that
that.
none of you have ever been to a theater that's
man.
predominantly black, because everybody talks in those things.
Well, but maybe that's what you expect when you go to a theater that's predominantly black, right? Like
You kind of do, but I mean,
Yeah.
But he does have a point that people, especially now with phones, cannot turn the damn things off in the middle. It's
crazy.
like the movie's going.
Yeah.
Turn that off.
No, I
went and
was.
saw the IMAX Grand Canyon movie at the Visitor Center. Really cool, by the way. And as soon as the video starts, this lady, one row behind me and a couple seats to the right, pulls her camera out, turns the flash on, and starts recording the IMAX.
You know how to
Hey.
watch it later at home.
Hey,
Fuck.
put that! Stop it! Turn that down. And she's like, "Oh, sorry."
Well, and
And then next to me, 5 minutes into the movie, this trio of ladies comes in and sits down, continues talking on their way in 5 minutes late, full volume, sits down, has a conversation, full volume for the next 5 minutes until I turned and said, shh, shh, shh.
It is a movie about the Grand Canyon, though. Boring.
Okay, that's it. I'm gonna rage quit now.
Look, Steve
Show him
Martin.
your scars.
My goal is to piss off every single one of you before the show ends.
Steve Martin was
Challenge accepted.
okay in that movie.
Well, and I had the same experience at the Ape screening this past weekend. I'll review the movie at the end of the podcast here, but there was a woman like 3 rows down and to the right of me who just was on her phone the whole time. It was clear that she
Wild.
was there under duress.
Yeah.
You know, didn't want to be there. And anyway,
That's why I love going to the movies Thursday night, because we're all going to movie church and everybody knows exactly what they're there for and everybody's respectful.
Good idea.
I feel so bad. I'm not bad, but like I have great experiences every time I go to the movie theater. Like I don't.
So we all
like,
need to go to the movie with you, is what you're
I
saying.
guess.
Yeah.
Got it.
well, we'll explore this further in the after party. There's a whole article here about, you know, justifications for why it happened or how it happened and all that stuff. So we'll dig into that coming
I
up.
think we're
realized
setting
looking at this
too high of an
picture-
expectation on movies when they come out.
Could
I
be.
think
Yeah.
you have a point, Rebecca. Yeah.
I was looking at this picture and just realized it's magic in Thor. That's the crossover that I want now.
Oh, there you go.
It was a good magic.
She
So
was a
if you
very
want
good
to
magic.
join us for the after party, geekshowgotthiscovered.com is the link to our Patreon, and you can get in there. All right. Finally, this, and then we'll find out what you guys consumed this week. All right, you nerds, you're getting Tom Bombadil. All right.
No one wanted him.
You happy? Jeez.
Who even is Tom Bombadil? I hear that
Oh,
name
God.
all the
He is
ding
the
dang
most.
time.
He's such a pointless character in Lord of the Rings.
But every
he-
Lord of the Rings nerd I knew was bitching that Tom Bombadil
No,
was
no,
not in the movie.
they weren't the right nerds. They're the ones
Yeah.
that are just whining because they didn't get something.
Okay.
And it's like I will seriously go round for round with the biggest Lord of the Rings fan out there. Never wanted Tom Bombadil.
Okay.
I'm
Okay, so Lee versus
enthusiastic
Stephen
to
Colbert.
see.
Got it.
Yeah.
Colbert
I
loves
think he
that
would
shit.
agree.
Yeah, I mean I don't know. Colbert might love Tom Bombadil, but it's like
Well, but
it
he would
doesn't.
agree that it didn't add anything to the
It
story
adds nothing.
nor the
well,
movie.
it adds nothing to the movie, but
Well,
it could add something to the story because he's like
Well-
one of the oldest creatures on Middle Earth.
Yeah, but
right?
if you
So-
if you read
This
Lord of
guy?
the Rings,
Yes.
they do this aside where everyone goes to Tom Bombadil's house and then they just leave after he says, "No, I can't carry the ring for you."
no, he basically
Just for a fight
He's
for you.
using.
he sings to them for 2 chapters, makes them some honey cakes, and sends them on their fucking way.
Exactly. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. It didn't add anything to the book either, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
I just remember I never heard of Tom Bombadil until these damn movies came out, and then all the Lord of the Rings nerds I knew, except for Lee, were saying, "Where the fuck was Tom Bombadil?" And I'm like, did
was
you
he
need
in
him?
The, crap, the 70 whatever year it was, rotoscoped movie. Was he in that
No,
version?
he was not in the Bakshi movie at all.
He wasn't even in that.
from what I can tell,
is
this
Will
might.
Forte. It looks like Will
No,
Forte.
it's Rory Kinnear.
Oh shit! What?
Wow.
I
Yeah,
thought it was Michael Shannon.
Rory Kinnear is the actor. And let's see. So Vanity Fair confirmed that he will appear in season 2 of the Amazon series Rings of Power.
Hang on.
There you go. Showrunner J.D. Payne said there's a reason why he hasn't been in prior adaptations because in some ways he's sort of an anti-dramatic character.
You think?
He's not a character who has a particularly strong agenda. He observes drama, largely doesn't participate in it. In the Fellowship of the Ring, the characters kind of just go there and hang out for a while, and Tom drops some knowledge on him.
Exactly. He is what the real watcher is in, like, should be. He doesn't meddle. He just watches. He hangs out, takes notes, and
mean,
just
there's-
lets everything happen.
There's 2 places in the Tolkien books, that one in the Hobbit and the other in the Lord of the Rings, where the party ends up at a house and inexplicably has a narrator tell them a story. And so in Lord of the Rings, it's Bombadil, and you go, okay, well that was kind of pointless. Thank you so much. The songs are terrible. I'm glad he has giant bees. Whatever. But then you get Bjorn the Bear Man in the Hobbit, and you go, oh, this guy's cool. He turns into a bear and kills goblins. I like that guy.
Yeah, he's actually he does stuff, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So further in the Vanity Fair article, it says because of Bombadil's vague nature, Rings of Power will be able to take a few liberties of its own with adapting the character, where he'll play a significant role in the journey of Daniel Wayman's mysterious stranger, the
His mysterious Gandalf.
Yeah, the amnesiac man who spent much of season 1 hanging out with the Harfoots, only for us to eventually learn in the climax that he is indeed one of the magical Istari, powerful spirits sent down from the cosmos to combat Sauron.
They're angels.
Gutter puddle. I need a little more explanation there because I'm not sure if I should be complimented or concerned.
What's he say? You described Robert. How?
I just need to know which way this is
A magical
going.
being who drops knowledge. That's what you do.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
I think
well,
they're also
that-
they're complimenting your radiant wife and your glorious collection of giant bees.
That must be it. I don't know.
and your
I don't
long
think-
flowing beard,
I
obviously.
don't think anything that you guys have been talking about is real.
I don't
Oh,
know.
I will. I seriously, when I was in the hospital back in November, I couldn't do anything. I was completely confined to bed rest, and so I listened to the Lord of the Rings audiobooks to pass the time, right? Because hey, who's got 90 hours normally, right? So, and we get to the Bombadil parts, and I'm like, this is so bad, so bad. This is hurting my brain. Even Old Man Willow is better than this shit.
Oh, oh, that's an insult there.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
take that, Bombadil. Oh.
Who's Old Man Willow?
He's literally a willow tree that tries to eat the hobbits.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's find out what you consumed this week. Who wants to start? Lee George
He's
K.
waving his
he's very
hand.
excited.
I was so excited. Fargo, we finally finished Fargo.
Oh, good.
It took 6 months, but we finally finished Fargo. Season 5 does something similar to season 2, where they go, hey, we're going to tell a crime story. But whereas season 2 is like, and there's a UFO. Season 5 is like, and there's a 500-year-old sin eater that's running around killing people because a man has a contract.
Yep.
Thank you, Fargo, for being the weird show that's brave enough to say the greatest way to break a 500-year-old curse is through the power of Bisquick.
Loved it. Loved
I'll
it.
say it again though. John
Yeah.
Hamm in that show
Ooh, chilling.
is the scariest villain I've encountered in years because he could happen.
And he is happening. He is happening.
Yes.
And Juno Temple is
Yes.
amazing. And several times she actually switches accents intentionally, and you just go, okay, this is. I did not understand who you were during Ted Lasso. Oh
Was
my
not
God, you're
aware
amazing.
Of your game.
Of your game, your skill, your power, your majesty. TNG Season 5, as we discussed on the last Space Show, and we'll discuss on the next Space Show, I think this is where Next Gen really starts to hit its stride and become the mythology powerhouse that it becomes. We also got the season finale, series finale of Discovery, and it's just like Discovery. It's a little rocky, it's a little rough, but I was a blubbering mess at the end. And especially considering they didn't know it was the series finale when they shot it, and that they had to have Frakes come in and shoot a ending to wrap the whole show up. They did an amazing job with it.
And from what I read, that ending was going to be a part of the next season if they
The
continue.
season 6 storyline was going to tie into that. Yeah.
Look
Delicious.
out for the comics, I bet.
It had
Yeah.
a little bit of Return of the King ending to it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You think it's done and it fades and then it comes back up. You're like, oh,
But
there's
of-
more.
But of every character, like one of the
3
biggest
times.
complaints. One of the biggest complaints I see of Discovery is it's the Michael Burnham show, to which I say, yes, it is.
It is.
And she needed a happy ending.
And I'm
So,
fine with it being the Michael
Yeah.
Burnham show, frankly.
Yeah, she was a fascinating character. She was complex and she was very well done.
Yes.
Delicious and Dungeon on Netflix just continues to go from this goofy fantasy cooking show to a really good fantasy show, which is fantastic. Blame, Tony, you will like this. It's a post-apocalyptic cyberpunk movie, anime on Netflix, and
What's it
the
called?
animation. It's called Blame with an exclamation point. The animation is some of the best I've ever seen. Like makes cyberpunk look a little sloppy. So,
Wow.
and then speaking of really good animation, Scavenger's Reign was one of the best animated series. Is kind of capturing the 1970s French New Wave, like Mobius and French illustrators of the 70s. Really grim, but really cool, and makes me feel like I am a dim, unimaginative boy when I watch it.
How far in are you?
I finished it, but Max scrapped it unceremoniously, and Netflix said, "We'll take your sloppy seconds." And thank you, Netflix, for doing that. My adventure was with Superman. Oh my God! Thank you for making the most sincere cartoon on television, because I just love it so much. I can't get enough of it. And I have an apology to issue to Doctor Who. Because, yes, I loved the holiday specials with Inshudigawa and his companion. I thought I like goblins singing about how they want to eat a baby. I don't know why. The first 2 episodes kind of hit me wrong. I did not like Space Babies. I thought the bit with Jinx Monsoon was kind of clever, but it left me kind of feeling empty. Boom was like a good average Doctor Who episode, and I was like, okay, I'm back in. And then 73 Yards hit, and it's probably one of the best episodes of Doctor Who ever.
Really?
And he's in it for 2 minutes.
Okay.
So the character I like the least in the new show steps up and carries the damn show for an hour and is amazing and resplendent and heartbreaking. And yes, you see the ending coming from a mile away. Doesn't matter. The story is perfect. Absolutely love it. So well done, Doctor Who. I'm sad it's only 8 episodes this season because I think first seasons with a new Doctor kind of need to flesh them out a little bit more. But I also understand Sex Education's final season is demanding on his schedule. So good week for TV in general.
Well,
I
they
need to
spent a
follow-
lot of money on this Doctor Who too, so that's probably another reason
shows.
it's 8 episodes. Yeah.
It definitely shows. And tonight we're going to the 45th anniversary of the Muppet movie in the movie theater. And
But not
That's-
Furiosa.
well, it was up to a vote. 2/3 of the household chose the Muppet
You
movie.
got outvoted, huh?
Yeah.
Didn't they know that Meat Trench gets a vote as well?
Meat Trench won't vote.
Meat Trench got incinerated back on May 2nd.
Oh,
Suffrage for Meat Trench.
he's not your Quado. Okay.
Oh God, no! My Quado was
Open
also
your mind!
the Quado was also removed on May 2nd.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Tony, for opening your mind. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Who's next?
I want to go because I need to follow up on a couple of things that Lee said.
All right.
So my adventures with Superman. I am a huge Christopher Reeve guy. I loved the
Oh yeah,
WB,
the poem.
Superman the animated series, but this is a just great pure kind of reboot reimagine, and I mean I love everything about this show so far, including the introduction of a new villain in the second episode. They actually make Amanda Waller. This is the Amanda Waller I've been looking for, who's very power hungry, but hasn't quite gotten to the point where she's in the comics where it's like, I am everything. So I'm really enjoying this take on it. Discovery, I thought it was a very well done ending. I was disappointed the 2 characters only showed up in like a flashback,
Yep,
who'd
same.
been there for 4 seasons. But they, at least they were back for the ending. And the way that they did the epilogue of this was the perfect tie up to something that we saw
In between
4
season
years
1 and
ago.
2. Yeah.
4 years ago, and they did a perfect job of putting that in there. Also, I did note that they had something from every other Star Trek series was at least referenced or shown in the last 6 episodes. So they did tie something into every other Star Trek series that has come before.
Even Enterprise, I was so surprised
Yes.
by that particular reveal.
Yeah, I
That
was like,
was-
because I actually had to look that one up because I was
did too.
spotty
I did
with
too.
Enterprise. And I'm like, it has to be that one.
Yeah, I had
and
to look that up.
they did a great job with that. Let's see, movie watched Dune 2 this week as a rewatch, and my wife hadn't seen it, and it was like, wow, this is good. I really am glad I got to see it on the big screen.
Yeah.
Comics wise, for Rebecca,
Oh,
she's back.
There she is.
She's back,
See ya.
and she's actually. I like what they're doing with her in the comic. I'll put it that way. Miss Marvel Mutant Menace #3.
Nice.
Iman Vellani is still co-writing it.
Oh, good.
It's a
Nice.
interesting story with her versus some reanimated X-Men corpses, and I'll just leave it at that. A very cute She-Hulk
Oh, look
in
at
a
that.
Jack of Hearts story, and
Aw.
we don't see stories where Jen isn't punching something. This is literally more of a story of like she's having a heart-to-heart with Jack of Hearts. Sorry, I didn't realize that before I said it.
Hey.
But it's a vulnerable She-Hulk,
who's writing She-Hulk these days?
Rainbow Rowell,
Okay.
and it's really well done. Guess who's back?
Ah,
Back
It's not Slim
again.
Shady. Pride Month.
Oh,
So
yeah, there we
today,
go.
beginning Pride Month, DC Pride 2024 is out this week. I have not had a chance to read it, so I can't review this one yet. But the wedding special for the X-Men, featuring the wedding of Mystique and Destiny,
Oh,
or the renewal of vows of the two of them is great. They tie in Rogue and Nightcrawler in really nice ways. There are
Really?
people. It's a bunch of short stories in one, to leading up to the wedding, and it's like Wolverine taking kids on a field trip to figure out what kind of gift to bring to the wedding.
Nice.
It's different characters just trying to figure out, should they be getting married, blah 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 blah.
I like
and
that.
it's really well done. And then there's there's a blurb in the back with Chris Claremont, who wrote them for years in X-Men during the 80s and early 90s, and also discussing the importance of diversity and LGBTQIA plus. Please forgive me if I forgot something. Representation in books. Check it out at your local comic
He
shop.
tried so hard to get Marvel to allow those characters to be gay, but they just wouldn't do it.
Yes.
So he just wrote them gay and never said the words.
yeah.
Yes, and it was beautifully done, masterfully done for the time.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Tony or Rebecca?
I'll go.
Okay, Tony.
Let's see. So we went on a trip last week to the Grand Canyon, Goblin Valley, and Arches.
Are you going to review the Grand Canyon movie?
Are you
Yes.
going to review the Grand Canyon?
So the Grand Canyon is a giant hole, and you can drive for a long time along the side of it and pull off and take pictures, and it's all just the same hole.
Did you take a donkey down to the bottom?
No, that's far too ambitious for our tastes.
So the Clark Griswold take is really the take you should have on the Grand Canyon, which is, Clark, you're missing the Grand Canyon. He goes up, puts his arm around her.
yeah.
Okay,
So
let's go.
it is no, don't get me wrong. It is beautiful and it is amazing. But if you're not a hiker, if you're not a person that loves to do the outdoorsy stuff, 2 days tops. That's all you can do there. Maybe one. Yeah, depending on how you want to go about looking at the visitor centers and things like that to learn some of the culture and everything of the Native Americans in the area. Now, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so that was a trip for our anniversary, right? And on the night of our anniversary, we decided to watch a movie in the hotel, and we saw HBO's showing The Iron Claw. I've heard that's good.
Happy anniversary!
That is not a good anniversary movie.
Now I've seen this movie, Tony. I know.
Holy moly!
Yeah.
We were both just like tearing up by the end of that movie.
Yeah, lovely movie. Definitely
Fantastic movie.
Awards snubbed. I was
yeah.
very mad at the
Yeah,
end of the
could
year.
you believe that? Zac Efron should have got a nomination for that. Absolutely. So, yeah, The Iron Claw was fantastic. It is not an anniversary evening movie,
Happy
though.
anniversary.
And that's exactly what I turned to my wife and said as the credits rolled. Happy anniversary.
I used to be a brother.
Oh my gosh. All right, and then Dark Matter. I'm catching up on Dark Matter on Apple TV Plus.
I haven't watched this week's episode yet.
Okay, so I'm only on episode 4. I don't know how far in it is.
Yeah,
but let me
I've
tell
only
you.
watched episode 3.
Okay, if you've read this book, you absolutely have to watch this series, even if you've read the book. They are deviating significantly
Which is how you
from
have to do
things in the
adaptation.
book.
I love.
And
I
it's
love.
all good. Probably because the writer of the book is also the writer of the TV show. And so it's almost like he gets an option to do a second draft of the book and change some things. I'm loving it. Dark Matter on Apple TV Plus is McDonald's. And so really, really recommend that one. And then last but not least, what was the other thing I was going to look at? Still going on Killing Eve. Fantastic show. Just
It's
a
the best.
Just
super
delightful.
cool show.
Did you get to
And
the
then-
kill? Did you get to the kill with the elevator and the tie?
No, I haven't got that far yet.
Ah! Did you get to the sex? Did you get to the sex window in Denmark?
Yes.
It's the best kill
Oh my
ever.
gosh, it's so I love that. I'm
People are
loving
just
that
watching,
show.
going, "Ooh, this is fascinating." It's
Yeah.
like, oh, that guy's dead.
Oh, he's gonna die.
Yeah.
And then on Rebecca's recommendation, my wife and I on our road trip listened to Hail Mary Project Hail Mary. Project Hail Mary. Best book I've listened to in probably 5 years.
So good.
It is absolutely fantastic. It deserves its 4.9 out of 5, 170,000 plus reviews on Audible right
This
now.
is the one they're making into a movie now, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
And the performer of the book is Ray Porter, who I was already a big fan of Ray Porter. He is a fantastic performer. And then the book itself is just captivating. It's got the action, it's got the funny, it's got the suspense. Can't recommend it enough. Project Hail Mary, absolutely fantastic.
All right. Rebecca.
Okay, I've only got one movie to talk about this week. It's a movie that it has not come out yet. It will be coming out June 7th on Netflix. This is a movie called Hitman. It premiered at Sundance. I tried to see it at Sundance, but everybody else also wanted to see it at Sundance. Hitman, written and directed by Richard Linklater. Glenn Powell also co-wrote this script. Glenn Powell stars as a professor who works with the police as a fake hitman. So if there's somebody who wants to put out a hit on somebody, they somehow come across his number. They kind of set up a sting operation, and Glenn Powell plays this fake hitman. And his character uses the opportunity to really stretch his acting and costuming and also psychology studies, because he's also, I believe, a psychology professor in the movie, based on a real person, by the way. Hijinks ensue, of course, when he falls in love with a potential client. This movie is utterly fantastic. I was hooting and hollering. I had a blast. I could watch Glenn Powell for hours, not only because respectfully a woog, but he is just such a powerhouse performer. Not only just a powerhouse performer, but in reading a lot of his interviews this week, he just seems like such a cool, chill, down-to-earth dude who is really approaching the filmmaking industry from a place of passion. He really loves movies and the art of it. And I think especially, there's one interview, I think it came out in GQ. He talks about Tom Cruise, his friend Tom Cruise, and how Tom Cruise sat him down. He only does this for his friends. Sat him down in a movie theater and played for him a 6-hour movie about filmmaking that he made. Tom Cruise has this 6-hour movie about filmmaking that he made that he just shows his friends. Dying to get my hands on this movie. I want to see it. But Glenn Powell, you can tell he really has a passion for movie making. And the movie itself is also funny. It's so funny. The pacing is fantastic. It has some great performances. I can't recommend it enough. I do wish it was playing wider in theaters. It's playing currently in some theaters in select markets, but not ours in Salt Lake City, because this would be a really fun movie to watch with an audience. This movie also did the thing, it caught my husband's attention, so he did the thing where he stopped whatever he was doing and then stood by the couch with his hands on his hips.
What's this?
The dad move.
I'm a master.
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. So
That's funny.
June 7th on Netflix, Hitman, highly, highly, highly recommend. I think it's a blast.
All right.
And that's all I
Thank
have for this week.
you. I saw a couple of movies. Saw the Dune 2, and
Yes.
took a while to get going, but once it did, God, that was quite the epic. You know,
Yep.
that's the only word I can use to describe it. Was an epic. It, all of these people and all of this fighting, and it's such a mess. Someone's got to clean that up.
Such a mess. Somebody better do something about
Somebody's
this.
going to clean that up, not me, I'll tell you. But yeah, they were all terrific. I thought they were all great performances. And yeah, so if you're a Dune fan, you've got to be happy right now, right? Then I finally saw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Ape together strong. Ape together strong.
It was an interesting, because none of my characters were there, all the characters that I knew. So
None of
that
your
was
friends were there.
none of my friends were there, but it was a familiar setting, but none of my friends were there. But so you got to get to learn these new people, these new apes, and their whole philosophies and how their tribe dynamic works and all of that. I'm disappointed that they had such a major spoiler in all of the commercials.
Yeah, what was that spoiler you were talking? Or I guess we
No,
could save it
don't
for the
say
after
it.
party.
I haven't seen it yet, and I plan
The
on
after
watching
party.
it soon.
They spill the beans on it, and it's just like that should have been the Caesar saying no moment. It didn't grab us and make us go Anyway, but it's an interesting philosophical kind of take on how religions, legends, how as they're told over time, the meaning changes. and is misinterpreted.
I told you, good Christian allegory movie.
Yes, very much so. Because you can see the teachings of Caesar. I'm familiar with them because they're my friends from these first 3 movies. This is generations later, and the stories have been told, and it's that telephone game, and it's...
Oh, you mean the King James version? Got it.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Thank you very much. So and I thought that was a great allegory for that. And then we're getting if you're a fan of the original movies, this is kind of a spoiler, but if you're a fan of the original movies, you won't mind this at all. We're doing a little Beneath the Planet of the Apes kind of action here in this one. Yeah, I see. I just got you smile from Lee, ain't he?
This is the best of the original movies.
With the biggest bummer ending you've ever seen.
Uh-huh.
I don't
Not
know,
prepared for that.
I watched the Iron Claw last week. That was a bummer
Have you seen
of an ending,
too. Beneath the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah.
I have not.
Let's just say Beneath the Planet of the Apes ends with a bang.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars for an Apes fan. I look forward to see what they do with it next. I thought all of the performances were terrific.
So after that, and seeing the guy that directed that is going to be directing the new Zelda movie.
Yes,
Does that give you hope for the Zelda movie?
sure.
Yeah.
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 All
They're
right.
pretty different.
Carrie, so I have a question for you, having just watched Dune 2, because I was watching it,
Yes.
and I realized something, and I don't know if it's intentional. I haven't seen anything referencing it at all, but watching Paul's sand walk in the desert to avoid the worms, did it at all strike you as, did they take any of this from Christopher Walken's dance in
Weapon of
Yes.
choice.
Weapon of Choice?
The fat boy
watching
split.
them, just kinda
Yes. It did remind me. And that was the other cool thing about Dune 2, was seeing Walken in that role. You were like, he should have been in a Star Wars movie, man. He should have. Anyway. All right.
Problem is the Quetzal Haderach here.
It was great seeing him in that white robe and everything. And I'm like, there's your Empire bad guy. Come on.
They just went to his house and filmed him on pajama day.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It looked comfortable, whatever it was he was wearing. I'd like it.
I still think my favorite role he has ever done is in a movie called Seven Psychopaths, a little known murder kill spree gem. But he and Tom Waits pretty much steal that movie from a crew and a cast you should not be able to steal a movie from. But it's fantastic.
Now, Eric says that the song Weapon of Choice references Dune in the lyrics.
It does.
does.
You have to
Yeah,
walk
I
without.
knew that, but that's why I was kind of wondering if there was like a little full circle moment there with,
That's
since
what
you
it-
got walk in there, just going, can we just throw this homage in there?
That's
Yeah,
what
you
it
have
looked
to.
like me.
You have to walk without rhythm, so you won't attract the worm. It's literally
And
in
at
the
the
song.
point where they're doing that in the video,
He's-
I was thinking about that when Paul's doing his walk, just like his little roundabout walk when Walken's going through the hotel lobby. I'm like, I wonder, but I can't find anything that officially goes, yes, we did reference that.
I
for
hope.
his walk.
I hope they did. Anyway, games, Tony. Do we have anything?
We do, actually. The Smurfs Village Party.
Hooray!
Yeah, they're still making Smurfs games. Did you know
Der
that?
Schlumpfs.
Still, I didn't know they made any.
It's an IP that kids know. They'll milk that. You know
Is
that.
der
Come on.
Schwarzschlumpfs? Der Schlumpfs?
And then the big one this week is we're finally getting the conclusion to the 10-year story. I use that in quotes. Storyline of Destiny 2. The final shape is out this week. And so if you're a Destiny fan, then hooray. If you're not a
quick
Destiny
note
fan,
there.
don't worry about it.
With Lance Riddick, who passed last year.
Yep.
They replaced his character's voice with Keith David.
Yep, which is a
Oh.
great choice. So,
Okay.
but yeah, that's really about it this week.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here. The weather's lovely outside. I'm surprised you're inside doing this, but thank you for that.
Well, I just got up early, walked down to the farmer's market, got some fresh bread, and came back to do the show all bright and early.
Nice. Ooh,
But
now
didn't
I
go
want
to
some.
Furiosa.
Now I,
Oh, she was there. She says hi.
Furiosa says hi.
join us at the after party. That's where we're heading now. Geekshowgotthiscovered.com. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Goodbye.
Bye.